bow our head for prayers for a minute. In Jesus' name. Everlasting King of glory, immortal God and invisible God. Father, we commit this section, this portion, and this aspect unto your holy hands. Come, Father, and deal with this topic and help us, O Lord, even to use the goodness of it in our lives. For in Jesus' and wonderful name we have prayed. Amen. So again, you are welcome to today's program, My Health and Health. Well, it's going to be participatory though, so I want every one of us to really be ready, be at alert, because questions will come to any one of us. So I want to deal with a very simple topic. In fact, by the time I on it, all of you will be like, is this why doctor is, all this why that we have been saying all this? But until you really listen, and be attentive, you might not really understand the whole aspect. So what I'm talking about today is on sleep and sleep disorders. Please, what do I say? Louder now. Sleep and sleep disorders. Please, when I say sleep, can someone just, help me to say, one or two things she knows about sleep? Is it just to close the eyes and open it again? Is it just to maybe relax somewhere and, you are back to the new day or another day? So please, your knowledge about sleep, I just want to know. It could be the children, it could be the adults, anyone. Sleep. When I say sleep, what do you understand by sleep? Remember, this sleep, has caused, for some people, even untimely deaths. This sleep, because we lack the good and quality, many people, they have developed all kinds of diseases, all kinds of ailments, all kinds of sicknesses. So when I say sleep, please, what do you understand by sleep?
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Okay, to my understanding, sleep is a natural way that your body and mind rest. It is a reversible a reversible way. It's not like death that you can reverse. Sleep is something that you can reverse, something that you can call yourself back. Natural way that your body and mind rest.
Thank you very much. So you say something, you can call yourself back. Can you actually call yourself back from sleep? Or you don't be natural, it's something that happens, or you call yourself to sleep?
Well, for me, I feel like when you decide to take a rest and you're not deeply, because there's really difference between rest and sleep. When you're resting during a nap, you can set your alarm, or you are consciously awake. You're not deep asleep. That is when it has to do with rest, and that's the reversible way, and it occurs naturally. But when you are sleeping, that deep asleep, that one, it takes God and whatever your body has undergone to say if you are going to come back to life.
Yeah, thank you. That is a beautiful one, So sleep is an active, reversible state of unconsciousness where the body rests, as you mentioned. The body will rest and the brain processes information. The brain at that period processes information, interacts with the environment, and prepares for wakefulness. That's the major difference between death and that sleep. The body now prepares, for wakefulness. So at that period, it's an active, reversible state of unconsciousness where the body rests and the brain processes information, interacts with the environment, and prepares for wakefulness. So at the period when we're sleeping, the body is going to rest, including the brain. Good enough, at that period too, so many things happen, including restoration. That is the time the body will restore, from what all it has passed through. It's going to restore, it's going to repair. Healing processes will take place during sleep. Growth too will also take place during sleep, because you have so many hormones, working at that period. But the good part of it is at the period, you are not conscious of what is happening. And when we talk of sleep, we have quantity, you have quality. I think you get what I'm saying. Some people will say, yes, in fact, some people would induce themselves to sleep. But then, the quality is affected. You could sleep for hours, if some people, under the influence of alcohol or some things, could even sleep for days, or some medications. But that is just quantity. The quality is not there. So when we talk of this sleep, we look at all these things. Quantity, quality, a period of unconsciousness where the body rests. The brain also rests, but at the same time, is also doing so many things. It is interfering with the environment, at that moment, and also trying to bring the body back to wakefulness. I think you are getting me right. Yes. It's a very crucial part of our life. There was a time they did some researches. They pulled like so many, I think about 50 people, together. They wanted to know if they don't sleep, what would happen. At the end of the whole haul, or at the end of it all of them did what? They all died because of sleep deprivation. So that is to tell you that sleep is very, 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 very crucial, very, very, very essential, and very, very important. When we sleep, what happens? Physical health, on our physical health. That is the time I mentioned before, growth and development, repairs, recovery, and restorations. If you don't have enough sleep, remember the following day, you become so fatigue will set in. Some people will be weak. Some people, despite the fact that they actually lie down to sleep, but because they didn't have that good sleep, they'll become irritable. The focusing will not be there. In fact, for children, they won't do well academic-wise. So because of all these things, that's why I pull it together that, let's talk, let's deliberate more on this aspect so that we can see how to help ourselves health-wise and also our children. Also, it helps with the immune system because a lot of things happen during that period. If we keep depriving ourselves or the children of good sleep, please, we are weakening the immune system. In fact, we are not helping them at all. In the nearest future, all these things will come to play in a negative way. Sicknesses, illnesses, even cancer formation, some of them could be just due to what had happened in the past when we mention sleep. A lot of metabolic activities occur during that period. That is why some people, later in life, they come down with hypertension. Yes, hypertension. And hypertension kills more than anything. In fact, later we say, people should not bother too much. We say essential hypertension. So that by the time we mention essential, you just think that it's something, it's something that is normal now. Then at the end of it, just use your drugs. The drugs that you will never stop using. The drugs that we will never stop using. And even some of the effects of these drugs also have their own complications. So why don't we try to know the reasons for all these things, and clear them and eat them at the time we could be of help? Hypertension. Remember, if the body does not rest very well, pressure will start building. It will start building. And when this pressure builds for a long time, let's say 10, 15 years, ultimately, there will be hypertension now. That's why they say, in the blacks, we have more of hypertension in the blacks, please. I don't know why, but I just know that even in Nigeria alone, let's look at what is happening. Not only Nigeria anyway, this is a worldwide thing, but when we look at some places where we have more stress than the other, you discover that we have more of all these things. Hypertension, diabetics, obesity. All these things could be due to the fact that our sleep was interrupted badly, right even from the childhood to the period we have. Some people, because of the work they do, maybe they're working at Victoria Island or so from Ibafo here, they won't reach home before 10 p.m. And by 4 a.m. again, they are on their way. My people, we are saving for sicknesses, for illnesses, and for all these things that are that is sure to come in the future. So sometimes we need to readjust. If you are working very far, at the very far places, I think sometimes you could move closer to that place. Just find a way of helping yourself, because all these things are still coming back. So during sleep, again, we have a lot of things. Muscle repair, blood sugar control, hormones, So many of them, so many beautiful hormones during sleep. That is where you see all of them. But by the time we are depriving ourselves of this good sleep, hormones will come, but in a way that they too are threatened. They will now start, they will come, but in more than necessary, or could even be below what is necessary. So during sleep, a lot of things happen. What of cognitive function? For children, when they have good sleep, they will do well. They will behave, the memory will be charged. They will reason very well. When they grow, they won't become children or they will become adults that will be, I will remember. Some people, by the time they grow old, or by the time they become adults, they just behave in a way that there's no emotional intelligence. They don't even think about your own. But it's just me alone. Some of these things, look at them very well. Look at the background. You discover that apart from other things, even sleep too is important. It's what they did not really enjoy. So if we give these children good sleep, when I say good sleep, I'm still coming to that. I mentioned quality and quantity. I'll still tell you the number of hours, even for adults and for children, despite the economic condition of anything, despite the whole Nigeria is now, despite whatever might happen, even when we have housing problems, we can still find ways of doing things. We can be creative, do things in a good way, because later in life, we are going to reap all these things. If you do it well now, the reward will come. If not, we are running up and down. I just pray that by then, we'll be able to, all our savings, or what have we'll be able to have good reward later in life. Yes. Learning, you can't even overemphasize it. If you don't have good sleep and you get to school the following day, even work, you know that the concentration will not be there. In fact, people will almost say, did you fight from home? You won't even know what to, because the way everything will be, the way you behave, the way the appearance, and everything. And if this thing continues for a long time, depression could even set in. Anxiety. By then, we'll not say it's one family member, one witch or one wizard, in the family or something. Now we tend to, as even Africans, we attach all these things to one thing or the other. Meanwhile, many of these issues are from us. We are the enemies of ourselves. We are the enemies of ourselves. So please, good sleep, good sleep, good sleep, so that we become responsible, reliable, productive, great person in life. Yes. Again, I mentioned productivity. If we don't have good sleep, we won't be productive. All of them, they are just like together, it's like a spiral thing that it continues in that circle. Productivity, accountability. When you are counting something, you'll be counting another thing. Even at work, if you work in the bank and you don't have good, even for bankers, in fact, I pity them. Yes. Because by the time they leave very late, they have to resume back. And, one thing I discovered about those bankers, by the time they are rising, by the time they become maybe managers or something, and all these things, when it keeps happening, mistakes will start coming up. And they always lay them off. Let's look at another group of people, all those caterers now. Maybe you are really working, round the clock from, they have to prepare for breakfast, for afternoon, for lunch, for everything, for dinner, and people keep walking around the clock. In another 10, 15, years of them, maybe when they have been doing this thing, check their blood pressure. You see that the thing is all these, many of these problems, they have the roots with sleep disorder. Many of these problems. See, of course, we can do all this job, but we have to be smart about them. What of doctors too? Doctors, they also have problems. You just see some people in the theater, they slump. Some people, we have issues too. But if you are not smart, as I said, then the money you are trying to make, you may not be the one that will spend. Yes. And many businesses like that. There's so many businesses. They're always busy, but the manpower is very, very limited. It's very small. If you have good manpower, you understand, then, of course, anything could happen. You are sure that, economic-wise, you'll be able to pay. And you expand, and you get more people. But even the managers or the owner of these businesses, some of them, they don't care. They don't care. What they are all about is their own money, and the profits. It's profits now. Even if you want to say, for adults to say you want to sleep for 7 hours, they say sleep, okay. Are you on earth to sleep? That would be it's only, it now takes the grace of God for someone who really understands what we're talking about. Is the one that will have pity on anyone. When I hire you to work in my office, and you're telling me when I expect you to, maybe you are two or three or four of you, and at the end of the month, I know how much I'm going to pay. Maybe I'm not having so many customers, and I'm not even free because I'm thinking, how will I meet up? And I just come and meet you sleeping. You think I won't fire you? So many of the owners, they don't even understand what you are saying. But please, I just hope that very soon things will change. And we too, we need to really understand the importance. If you don't understand the importance, then you'll be used anyhow. And when the problem comes, Tarababa Jodi Talara. Yes. Yeah. For Nigeria now, you see, for pet work, for people, for civil servants, I'm so sorry, I'm making some of these instances. Please just pardon me. For people with kidney problems, they will say, okay, for a year, Lagos State government will say, I'll help you with dialysis just for 1 year. So someone that has maybe renal problem at the age of 45. So dialysis of a year. So what happens at the end of it all? So the owners of all this business, they don't care, they don't know. Theirs is for you to do their job. And at least they will pay you with meager something just for you not to die. You understand? Civil servants are not being paid to build houses. Oh. Please, it's only if you're in a position maybe to steal or something. And remember, that one too is not rewarding. You understand? But the whole thing I'm saying is whatever we do, we just have to be smart. When you are doing one job, plan very well. If you think it is not meeting your needs, you can also plan, diversity and the rest. But at the same time, you need to sleep and relax your brain very well. When we talk of sleep now, there are some stages of sleep, about 4 stages of sleep. The one we call rapid eye movement, that one is in 2 phases. Then non-rapid eye movement. Non-rapid eye movement, that one, the brain is really, really resting. It is resting. But for rapid eye movement, that is the time, that the brain is a bit active at that period. So at that period, that is when we dream. So if you don't dream, you are not dreaming. You don't dream, then you are not relaxing well. Your brain is not relaxing well. Because dreaming is part of good sleep. I think you understand. If you are the one that always maybe sleep for 2 hours in a day and I think I can't hear me, I don't sleep, I just stop 2 hours, I'm good. You are not good. Your brain is not working well. It's not relaxing. Rest up, you become old, you age on time. Yes. And dreaming, as I mentioned, people always associate dreaming with something bad. I dreamt today. Please, I'm not looking at the spiritual aspect. That one is very, very important. Please, don't quote me. I'm just talking. This is science-based. Our pastor, we dwell more on that. You understand? Yes. So I'm not saying dreaming, when we dream that maybe something happened. That is not true. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not in that level. Yes. But when we keep dreaming of maybe something bad every time, sometimes it's just because of mental issue. Some people are developing mental illness. Yes. It could be that. So they have to be looked into. If they mention, if they call for help, they will be helped. You understand? Or sometimes some things that are about to happen. There's a way this brain collaborates with so many things. It could even problem-solving ability. It could be even from dream. When you did something during the day, by the night now you sleep, and it's possible that you just dream over and the thing will just come, just like a snap. It would be solution to what you are dealing with. So assuming you don't now have this good sleep, everything you become confused. Everything will just upside down and the rest. So what am I saying? Good sleep is very, very important. So how many hours now are we expected to sleep? For children or newborn, it could be up to, don't even go down to newborn, I'm sure. We know that at least, let the baby sleep, right? So let's come to toddlers now. Toddlers, how many hours? So that you won't say, you carry the baby carry her to shop, and she has not been, or maybe she's just sleeping. She doesn't. For toddlers, it is like 10 to 14 hours. 10 to 14 hours. If the place is good, if the environment is conducive, 10 to 14 hours. For children, for many of these, the head group here, we talk about 8 to 10 hours. So if we want to look at 8 to 10 hours, what time are they supposed to go to bed? Someone? At least, yes, at least 8 to 10 hours, at least. 9. What of 9? Okay, between 9 and maybe 6. By 8 to 10 hours. 8 to 10 hours. Are we following? Are we following at all? What do you say? 9 to 6. Okay, 9 p.m. to 6 to 6 a.m. Okay, I think around. Yeah, around. Oh. Okay, so what I'm just saying is, please, we need to know that these children, they need to go to bed much earlier. Much earlier. Don't engage them. Don't engage them too much. For their own works, give them time to also do that one too. When they come from school, at least after food, they can do some calls, some things, of course, they need to be responsible as well. Then let them go to bed early so that they can prepare for the next day. Without that, don't blame any child if he or she doesn't do well, because it could be the fault of the parents as well. You understand? So we say, I'm not sleeping, you want to sleep. Especially where maybe the mother is not there, or it may be single family, or maybe the mother has to go to shop, and maybe all of them will now come back home together, and that and that and that. So please, for children, let them have at least 8 hours. For adults, how many hours? For adults, though. They don't need so many hours like children, because the children, the brain is actually developing. Okay, let's say 7 hours. 7 hours. 7 hours. 7 hours. So what I'm saying, please, in a nutshell, it doesn't mean that if we have some other things, maybe once in a while, like we want to have vigils, I'm not saying we can't. That means that is not an everyday thing. Yes, it's not every day. Because I also remember there was a time then, I think I mentioned it here before. The man came to me, wanted to go to Jerusalem. He has to come for all these health checks and the rest. I need to check the blood pressure, That the blood pressure was the only thing I could do at that moment. It was in the evening. So the blood pressure was 200 and something over 150 thereabout. I said, this one is too. I said, doctor, see, I'm doing vigil 7, I think, was it 14 days or so, and I have to complete. There's nothing you can do to stop me. I said, I'm not convincing you too much now. Mine is just to tell you, and I'll let you know the implications. If you like it, fine. If you do, but I'm not giving you medical report that you are fit. I won't until we bring down this blood pressure. If we bring it down, of course, you would go. When someone is hypertensive, it doesn't mean that the person is not productive or not. No, at all. If the person adheres, and complies with guidelines that we give, do this one, lifestyle change, and so many things. There's nothing. The good thing is that you're able to pick it on time before complications come up. But he insisted that, doctor, I have to do this revive. I said, it's not a matter of you have to do revive. I'm telling you that we are not fit. And I won't give you any reports until this blood pressure comes down. But I still insisted that he had to finish up with that 14 days program. I think that was the 9th day. There's no big, you see, we don't need to kill ourselves. We need to be smart. I lost someone not quite long. During our redeemed fasting, 100 days fasting. Very close person. Each time this program comes up, he always convulses. 68-year-old man. And at the time of conversion, if you check the blood sugar, you discover it is very low. So that means this thing draws the sugar for him, not for everyone. But again, even as we age, there is limits to everything. This man, he won't break his fast until let's say 8 p.m. And even at that 8 p.m., he just started praying. And he will tell you that until he finishes. And if by the time he finishes the prayers, he says, I'm weak, he might not even eat. He will continue the following day. That's what we noticed in him. So sometimes when you have to reduce some things, when they say do this, please let us adhere. When they say do this, all is for our own good. The point is, all these things, all these advices, they are all for our own good. So please, our sleep. During sleep, a lot of things do happen. I think you understand and you are following me. So I've been able to tell you the number of hours that we need to sleep on a daily basis. So now, we now come to sleep disorders. Before I go to sleep disorder, I'm just trying to give you the reasons why we have to sleep, the implications of not sleeping well, and all this. Because many people are suffering from this problem. At a time, they just tell you that I'm not sleeping. They come to you and say, please give me sleeping drugs. I'll just lie on the bed, and till the day breaks, I don't sleep. So please, doctor, help me. I need to sleep. And some people, before they have all this mental problem that is really maybe very bad, in a bad thing, they just tell you that for days he komasu. He doesn't sleep for days, for 5 days, for 1 week, he's not sleeping. So we want to talk about sleep disorders now. So when we mention sleep disorders, it's just the categories, anything that disrupts our normal sleep pattern, that affects both the quality and quantity of sleep. Of course, can lead to significant daytime impairment. Daytime impairment in the sense that if you don't sleep well at night, during the day, things might not work well. You understand? If you don't sleep, if you don't have good sleep, good quality and quantity. Quantity, we mentioned hours, we mentioned timing. Quality, you can only measure the quality by yourself. I can tell you quantity in a way, but I might not even really get it right. Because by the time you get to bed, it might take a while before you sleep. But I could have an idea of the quantity, but the quality is subjective. You are the one that will tell me that the sleep is not sound. You understand? So these two things are very, very important. So when we have problems with them, then it becomes sleep disorder. And it could affect significantly what is going to happen the following day. And we have mentioned all of them, that the work we do, those that are driving, they might not be sharp. You understand? Many accidents will be due to that too, because the man does not sleep well at night. Some people will start drinking, thinking to, some people drink to help themselves. You understand, to sleep. But that will only affect it could affect only the quantity. It might not touch the quality. Being alcoholic, it doesn't mean that you now have good quality. It will just be quantity. And at the end of the day, when you take this thing too much, it's going to affect you. You just lie down, you sleep, you do everything, but the quality is not there. So do we need to keep engaging in all these things? Capital no. Some people will tell you that if I don't smoke, I won't even sleep. That sleep is just the quantity too. You understand? Because for you to now stop to have good part of yourself, you also have to stop that cigarette smoking. You have to stop that alcohol. You have to stop all those things. But there's some basic lifestyles that we might not know. Like, okay, the use of caffeine, say, I have to be strong during the day. For some people, they may not sleep at night. So if that affects us, then that means you have to reduce it. I think you understand what I'm saying. All right. Then also, some medical conditions too will affect our sleep. Many people, when they are not feeling fine, of course, the first thing is me osundada. And maybe it's the headache that's affecting me, or something. It's part of how you measure healing. When someone is getting better, say, yes, I'm sleeping well. So that means the person is becoming fine. But you say, even the sleep could even be the first thing for some people. That even my sleep, I don't really sleep well. Then you start to now know why. You understand? There's some medications too. There's some drugs that if you take them, to take some drugs to sleep. There's some other drugs that if you take them, you won't even sleep. It could be the side effects. So these are the causes of some of these sleep disorders. I'm just trying. I discovered that time is not on our side again, so that I can still ask so many questions. So, but I'm also putting it at the same time so that we can understand it. So when we now go to classes, I want to know so that you know that, this is the class I belong to. This one is my own. Okay, this one is my own. Doctor, how can you help? So now, when we want to talk about how do we classify this sleep disorder, some people will just say, when we say insomnia, that means poor sleep. Insomnia, yes. Yes, it is hard to sleep. Some people, they find it difficult to sleep. They're just on bed. I'm not sleeping well. So they find it hard to sleep. Or someone, when they just sleep a bit, they now find it hard to stay there. So that's why they say, if I kill a the sleep is not sound. I'm just waking. In fact, it is, you find difficult to sleep. And when you sleep, you find difficult to stay in that level, in that sleepness state, Or you may even also find it not easy to wake up in the morning. Wait, you need to get me what I'm going to get it right. If you find it hard to sleep, find it hard to remain, even if you now try to sleep, you find it hard to remain in that level. You understand? Some people say, if I'm also, no, I really enjoy it. No, you find it hard to fall asleep. Or when you fall asleep, you find it hard to stay there. That's why you wake up. Then maybe during when the day is now breaking, that's the time you now start sleeping. Then you now find it hard to wake up. Or when you wake up, you just discover that because, and when it continues for a while, of course, it won't do you any good. You just have to call for help. So that one is what we call insomnia. There's some that, again, you sleep and you just sleep apnea. You're just waking up, often. Why? Some people, because of snoring. By the time they have that deep snore, they wake up. It's as if they want to choke. Some people are like that. You understand? So, of course, that one too is a sleep disorder. Then there's another one they call restless leg syndrome. That one, please, I'm sorry for using all these terminologies, so please, I'm just sorry. Because I know that it cute. Some people get rubbish when the doctor says, so who is asking of all these things? But what that just means is the person is just there, shaking the legs. And of course, while doing that, he will be awake to shake, so he won't sleep well. So all I'm just saying is any form of sleep, that we don't really feel good about, that we don't maintain good hours, or we don't feel good concerning the quality, is sleep disorders. And of course, all these things could result in all the health problems I've mentioned. It could be because of health problems, or it could also cause health problems. It's just pari passu. But when it happens, when you just have problems sleeping, have problem keeping that sleeping, have problem waking up in the day, you just know that there's something with your sleep and you need to call for help. Of course, sometimes you'll be able to help yourself. You just discover that, maybe, or I did some exercise before going to bed. It's not the night that is good for you to exercise. Do your exercise in the day, not in the morning or at night, or heavy food. Some people, food will not be ready until 10 p.m. That one too, of course. I'm a victim. I'm sorry, I'm a victim. Yes, but I have to say it so that I also talk to myself. And when you eat late food like that, please, a lot of health implications too. So please, we're talking to one another now. Yes, so all these things, please, we have to be very, 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 very careful about them. If we want to live long and in health, we have to keep our sleep as sacred as possible. How should your sleeping place be like? Are we talking of maybe 10, 15, 20 people? No. No. So, please, the place should be well ventilated. You need ventilation. And it's also good to have the light. Some people don't want to sleep in darkness. But there's something we call circadian rhythm. You understand? So that is the clock in you that is regulating the time. It loves kind of dark room. If you on the light, I won't sleep. I want to sleep, but something will just start telling me that something is wrong. Maybe because I'm used to it, but that one is good. You can't sleep in bright light now because someone is coming. Nobody will come. You are covered by the blood of Jesus. Yes. So you need that, well aerated room. If you want somewhere warm, well, it depends on you. But it should not be somewhere that you maybe cannot breathe well. No, that's not what we're saying. Because with that, even a lot of carbon dioxide, instead of you to start taking oxygen, it is the carbon dioxide. And with that, again, you won't feel good. It will see as if by the time you wake up in the morning, you think even maybe some people, they beat you up in the night. So let's sleep in a room, the brightness should be dim and well aerated, well ventilated. Not too many people, Maximum of, we talk of 2 adults, or, if it's the children, 4 children. I'm not sure if the condition of Nigeria could help with that. But I just pray that in our lifetime, in the mighty name of Jesus, it is that good thing that we want that will come our way. No matter what, let it rain. No matter what, let the sun be too much. It will not hit us. We want all these things, we find them as something good and suits for us. And that will be our portion in the mighty name of Jesus. So, well, before I bring this one to an end, I also want, again, I'm not saying another thing again. I'm not saying, it's what I'm still saying. Just the importance of sleep. During sleep, a lot of things happen. A lot of healing processes happen. The brain is also relaxing and also doing some work too. There is time for everything. There is rapid eye movement. There is not rapid eye movement. Everything has been well structured. And I know that is the work of our God anyway, because no science can tell you how God has actually done it. It's the work of God. So during that period of sleep, a lot of things. That's the time of healing, you know. That's the time of restoration, you know. That's the time of control of the body system, you know, immune system that prevents, if the immune system is good, sicknesses and diseases will be far. But if the immune system is weak, they will be falling ill at all times. You understand? And so many health conditions are linked with poor sleep. So I want to ask us now, and I want you to pardon me for that. Is it good to have a good sleep, or we think with the condition of Nigeria, orun bi ti bawo, when I have to make money, you know, when I have to wake up, so, you know, maybe 4 a.m. and by I arrive home by maybe even some people by 12 midnight, and by 4-5 they are you know, they are working again. So I just pray, because I know that some of these things sometimes is not within our, is not, we can help ourselves. We can actually help us. It depends on you now. It depends on you. So that the money we are trying to make now, you know, we won't start queuing, you know, at the hospital, the doctor's shop. Let me say shop. Don't let me mention hospitals now. Shop, our shops, you know. But that one is not very good for us. So I want us to live long life in sound health so that I can enjoy our prosperity. So may God help us. So with this, you know, Pastor Sir, I've come to the end of this talk for now. So if there's any further things. No problem. So during sleep, you see, there is a way the brain behaves. We have 2 important points, but they are in 4 stages. Rapid eye movement, non-rapid eye movement. During rapid eye movement, sometimes it could be between 90 to 120 minutes. You understand? During sleep. So at that period of rapid eye movements, that's the time we dream, and that's the time brain is doing a lot. And there is what we call the movement of the brain. It happens at that period, and also linked also to the movement of the eye. So at that period, activities of the brain is much. That's the time brain is really, you know, dealing with the environment, and that's the time we also have our dreams. That's the time of rapid eye movements. So if instead of having like 90, 120 minutes for that period, because you don't even sleep, maybe 4 hours, you are out of the bed again, you think you can have all that? No. Non-rapid eye movements. Or for that period, the eye is not moving. In fact, the body, with that period, everything's still like someone that is dead. That's the time of non-rapid eye movement. At that period, the brain functions is down. It is down, you know, the body is really, really resting. So these 2 stages, they're very, very important. If you have too much of rapid eye movement, of course, that one is also bad. That means something is wrong. If you have too much, because there is time, everything is timed. But it is the time of rapid eye movement that we dream, as I said. You know, the time of non-rapid eye movements, we don't dream. The brain is relaxing. It's really, really resting. And sometimes it is that period of non-rapid eye movement that will now lead to wakefulness. You understand? But sometimes, you know, you just say, I have a dream. And from that dream, you know, my heart started beating. It is a terrifying one. So that means we wake at the rapid eye movements. You understand? And it also depends on, you know, our dreams sometimes depends on what we are exposed to. Sometimes if you are the one that you are maybe, depending on what you do. You understand? Yes. So that's when we sleep, what is happening to us oftentimes depends on our activities during the day. That's why I said if you are maybe trying to solve a particular problem that you find difficult, some people is when they sleep. You know, the period of rapid eye movement, the period that the brain activities is much, the solution could just come up. You know, when we are asleep, some things are happening, you know, to us. We don't have power over them. You don't even have power over them. You may just see yourself as the one that is watching the video. You don't have power over them. So at that period, again, it depends on what we do, what we are exposed to. If you are the one, maybe that, as I said, some people, sign of mental illness, it's when they now start having some of these problems more than necessary. So some people, it depends, maybe something that is about to happen, and they are just having the sign that something would happen. Some people, you know, when they are able to tell, maybe now it's something of spiritual, because the brain is also linked to spiritual word too. There's a particular part of the brain. There's a particular part. I can't bore you by mentioning, you know, some of those things. Doctor, you are saying rubbish now. But then there's a part of the brain that is linked. So that when you are now able to tell the pastor, or he could interpret, and you just discover that the thing is just the way they've said it. You understand? So all those things, all those activities, the big activities are during rapid eye movement. Non-high movement, the body is still like, yes. So I don't know if I've been able to answer you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's a very good question. So that you won't say that doctor wants us to be lazy now, you know, because at the end of it all, she says we may now need to spend money, so. No. Yes, something like that, you know, once in a while. But if you are now having this more, then you need people. You are not the only one that will be doing everything, because you need people to help you. You understand? I'm sure you won't be the only one that will be doing so many things. Yes, you can't overwork ourselves. You can't overwork this body. And at the same time, we can't be lazy. We can't be idle. We have to do something good. You can do it, sir. You will do. You definitely do it. You do it, oh. You think we too are. Sometimes for things that are hard, we also do, but then we try to rest as much as possible. As you see me, I don't like anything to take my sleep. I don't want it. In fact, the following day, I will find it difficult to concentrate. You understand? But of course, for you, if it is something that it's once in a while, but if it's something that occurs regularly, then you need people. Sometimes it could just be that you get to the field, tell them what to do, then you supervise. Let me attend to some of these questions. Okay, number one is a siesta versus night sleep. Well, for children, I told you that they could sleep for so many hours, especially the toddlers, the newborns, and the rest. So, of course, day sleep is part of their own hours. For adults, if 30 minutes nap, fine. Of course, you are not on bed. There's so many things you cannot control your body on. If the sleep comes, sometimes there's nothing you can do. And by the time you have it, of course, the body will be refreshed, and that will be nice. But if you sleep for many hours during the day, you are jeopardizing the night sleep, which is more important. So it's that period that the body is actually following most of these things I told you. The time of rapid eye movement, the time of non-rapid, they come up usually at night, not during the day. You understand? So now, snoring and management. Well, snoring is not, of course, it could affect the other partner, and even for the person too. You just discover that you could wake up often and often. If you snore too much, for some people they will snore because maybe they have cold, they have cough, they have some other things that we just manage. Some people, maybe for the position, you will just tap them. When you are snoring, some people might just change, and the thing would just stop. In extreme cases, some people may need medical intervention. But no matter what, snoring would definitely affect the quality of sleep. for both of them. Yes. So some people with the snoring, they can just wake up and say, "Ṣé mo ti ń snore ni?" So that means they know that something is actually happening. You understand? But sleep without snore, sound sleep, that is the best. If it is due to one thing or the other, some people just take warm water consistently, it will stop. Some people just minor, it could be ENT knows something. Once it is being identified, it will stop. But if it is the one that is now there and disturbing so many things, then the person might need to see someone that knows about it. That is why we have ear, nose, and throat specialists when it becomes extreme. But if it is not really causing any health problem or health issue, it might stop with time. How many people are seeing even specialists because of snoring? But then, sleep without snore is good. But if you need to snore, maybe just sometimes, occasionally, because most of these things too, it's not that they are totally bad. But when it comes to affecting or causing negative, things for the other person or for the self, then it needs attention. Sleep apnea. Snoring can lead to sleep apnea. Therefore the person will be waking. We wake up from time to time because of snoring, because of other things, that has to do maybe with breathing. And of course, the following day, the sleep will not be so good. How to go back to sleep when awake, maybe 2 a.m. or so? Well, all these things, are the sleep disorders we have mentioned. Some people will be awake for 2 hours, 3 hours. It may be due to something. Maybe, for people that are maybe working, maybe night shifts, by the time you now expect them to go back to normal sleep, it might not be so easy. That's one of the problems with people that are taking shifts. So by the time, the sleep pattern, no matter what. But we just need to find a way so that many of these things will not affect us too much. That's why I said the money we are trying to make now, we pray that we will not use it for health issues later in life. Because by the time you keep, piling up, you think you are piling up sleep. No, you are not piling up sleep. It is, as you are not sleeping, it is causing damage from time to time. It is so that's why you just need to find a way. You can't say, okay, I pile up sleep for 5 days. After then I'll sleep. No. Some people, working abroad, so if they tell you their experiences, you even say, especially the health and the rest. You are taking nights, you can't sleep. You can't sleep. Okay? If they catch you, that's what I heard. I've not been there. Please. But then, that is the truth. So you see some of them, that by the time they are ending maybe 5 days work or so, they will be jubilating. Father, I thank God that, So, because the people over there are telling them that, look, this work is not free. There's no free lunch anywhere. You have to you have to work for this money that you want. So, sleep is not something we can just say, oh, let me pile up and later I'll pay. If it is not on for so long, then maybe during the day or so, you can still try. Or even your body too. When you don't sleep at night, your body cannot even do anything during the day for some people. You have to, even if you don't want to sleep, the sleep will come by force. You understand? But then, on a normal ground, we should sleep at night. But if our work is not allowing us for that, then let's know how to go around it. Because it is money we're actually looking for. So many things. Is all that. But as we are doing that too, let us be smart about it. So that again, the money we are trying to accumulate, we not start using it for so many things. You understand? Yes. For people with all these problems, of course, you can't really find children. If you have 100 people with this hypertension, diabetes, because of lifestyle or what they have done in the past, and if you will find 10 children, it's because they have other problems in the body, giving them that hypertension or diabetics. And that one, we call that one secondary. They say that this hypertension is secondary to this problem. But for adults, because we pile it up over years, so the thing is now there staring at us. hypertension, diabetes. Some people, forms of cancers, we have linked them to stress. It's stress. Cancer, immune system. When the immune system is weak, if care is not taken, cancer may come up. But again, please, I forget to mention some people, they have the family issues. It's the families, it is in the gene. When they get to a certain age, they won't have sound sleep. Some people are like that. It is inheritance. For that one, well, of course, it's not good, and it could lead to all these things we are saying. So by the time you start asking them questions, is your father alive? Yes. Or is your father alive? No. Could you say something about him when he was alive? My father too, he wasn't sleeping, He just opened his eyes and, sometimes all that things, they run in the family. But it doesn't mean that the effect will not come. The effect might come. The body will not say, because I know that there's a family problem. What that problem will lead to will definitely come if that person is not taking time to really address it. Okay, is it good to take medications to sleep? Well, medications will be part of our treatment, but you can't rely on it for too long, because if you rely on it, later it won't even work again. A tablet of diazepam, first 3 days or first 3 nights, that will work. If you now rely, even if you take 10 tablets, which will cause more damages, will not even work again, because the body is used to it. So the best thing is, all those things could just be maybe short period kind of a thing. It's just a short period. Then we need to know why and deal with that reason. Try to identify it. If we are able, then good. Before the identification, then we may just assist by using some of these things. Some people have a night shower. You just discover that your sleep will be good. You understand? Yes. Or maybe during hot period, you know that to sleep will be a problem. So try maybe, it's unfortunate that nowadays, all these fences that we try to block ourselves, don't allow air, in. People in those days, or people in the villages, of course, they have their problems, but some of them, they don't usually have some of the problems we have, with all this exposure. So, then early risers, fine, yeah, that's good. This sleep now, it could be individualized. It could be individualized. Some people will tell you that by 8 o'clock, I'm on my bed. And that is just this lifestyle for that person. But by 4 a.m., I'm awake. And that is just on a regular basis. For that kind of a person, by 10, she's not even comfortable. She's not with you again. So we need to understand ourselves. What time is good for you? What time do you think suits you better? You can stick to the time, and it will be nice. But when you get to bed by 12 a.m., and by 4, you can't do anything again, you are awake and opening your eyes, and it's just, you discover that during the following day, you just be sleeping here and there. Even in your office, before you know it, people Dr. Shen, something like that. So it's all because of our sleep pattern that is being distorted. So we should try to know yourself very well, but have at least 6 hours. It is 7 hours, but I'm just looking at Nigeria and the rest, which is not even allowed, because I'm not a specialist in that regard. Because if I keep saying 7 hours, some people say, Doctor, so let's even say 6 hours now. I'm sure if we still have 6 hours, good sleep hours, 6 hours, it will still be good. You understand? So for the 6 hours, understand yourself, know when and when, not to just have 2 hours and say, in the body meeting, I'm okay. We are not okay. We are not okay at all. That is not good. That is mental health issue. So which hour is more important than how to make up deprived sleep? How that is more important? I can't say that one. I can't say that one. I can't say this is the time you will achieve your rapid eye movements. This is the time, not rapid eye movements. I can't say that at all. It depends on you. I mentioned circadian rhythm. That is the clock, internal clock in you. That is what is keeping us awake, making us asleep, and doing a lot of things. And during this period, the period that body is repairing, And it is when you sleep. You see, many of these growths, it is during sleep. You understand? A girl that you see today, by the time you see in another 5 years, you don't know what is happening. Meanwhile, you are together day and night. Most of these things happen when we sleep. It is during sleep. That time, me, I don't know. That moment, I don't know. The time I'll tell you that sleep at this time, I can't know. That one God has not revealed to humankind. You understand? But we know that even there are so many things we cannot even still explain as science is. But we know that from evidences, we know that things are happening and someone is responsible, and that someone is God. So that period, that hour, that time, I don't know. But then that's why they said have 7 hours. So that during the 7 hours, whatever would happen, would happen. Yes. And if we have problem maintaining sleep, keeping the sleep, or now finding it difficult to wake the following day, being weak, fatigued, irritable, and all. If you keep 10 people together, like children, or even adults too, give some, maybe 7 hours sleep, the other one, 4 hours sleep, for 6 months, you tell me the difference. You discover that the one with good sleep will be much better. The thinking, the organization, the orientation, the planning, endurance, the way the people will tolerate, and so many things will be different from the 4 hours. Yes. We are prone to accidents. We are prone to many things when we don't rest. And that is the truth. So that is it. So someone asks a question, and I read. You mentioned, Matt, that brain processes information during sleep. But why is it that when people think the body refuses to... I don't understand, but the body refuses to sleep. We want to sleep, but the body refuses to sleep. I mentioned it. If you want to sleep, and the body does not want to sleep, sometimes go to bed early. Because when you go to bed, it may take another 30 minutes for some people to now fall asleep. But if you have, well, because of the nature of your job, especially children or students, when they want to do exam, you have not been reading all this while. Yes, the exam period now, say, me only soon. I will put cases in mini. Sometimes by the time you get to exam hall, you just is looking at the questions like this. You understand? So please, no matter what, as students, let's prepare. That's not to say that during that period, there is a way body will release some hormones too that will make us to be awake. You understand? Whatever you read, we understand. And some people will even tell you that the following day, when they get to exam board, if they just see the questions, it is possible. Especially when you have been well connected. You understand? Yes. But that is not to say that you won't read before, you won't even do anything, and I'll be waiting for magic, at the end of it, so it might not work that way. So we should inculcate the habit of having good sleep no matter what, so that we will enjoy our labor. And we pray to enjoy our labor in Jesus' name. Maybe I should, please, allow me to react to that water. Okay. Well, that is you. You understand, sir? So, but what we advocate is we don't want too much water at night, because people will want to, many people we don't want that. It will affect the sleep pattern for many people. Yes. So some people that, by the time they or you give them, there are some medications. Some medications will make people urinate. So just tell them, take it in the morning or afternoon, so that you are done with everything before you sleep at night. We don't drink, we don't like to, because at night, but you are not moving about. When you're moving about with your water, the body is flushing and the peak of activity is high. You understand? But when you are asleep, then you may just tend to accumulate. Even for people with kidney problem, the fluid will accumulate. So you don't want too much water at night. We balance it balance it. But nights, we reduce it. Yes. Even children, if you give them water at night, some of them will, you understand, they will mess up. So it depends. Maybe your own body now different. All right, sir. So the second one, that one is good too. Let me start with Sister Dami. Okay. Well, this magnesium cyanate, yeah, is a very good one. Very, very good, in fact. But before you take it, I think it's good to rule out so many things, especially diabetes. People with diabetes, you have to be very cautious. It's that one that I know, but it is good. So we need to be sure that it's going to help. Not everything. Our people, if they take something, I take before you know it's, but it is good. You understand? But then, it also depends on the cost. Because I mentioned some families, it could be an issue that they'll say, it's like that, it's like that. So you really need to make ask some questions, do a lot of things. And I'm sure, it will be resolved. We may see later. You understand? Of course, if you don't sleep, so many things, I mentioned it, health issues will come up. This is migraine, headache on one side. And sometimes migraine could be even very severe. So sleep is very, 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 very important. You cannot even overemphasize. It's so important that the whole health, the whole body function depends on it. Because that's the only time brain, is going to work. And brain is the one that controls every part of the body. It's the instruction given by the brain that every part of the body will follow. So that's the time, that brain is resting. And part of it too, brain is also doing some activities. I think okay. For too much of sleep, yes now, it is possible. In fact, there are some diseases that could be linked. You can say, okay, because of the person is suffering from this one, sleeping sickness, There's so many. You understand? But by the time you wake up in the morning and you feel relaxed, you feel good, you are able to function very well. So that means that is a good sleep. And it has limited hours. 7 hours for adults. You understand? So by the time you now start taking drugs, taking all this one, being alcoholic and become useless to yourself and just sleeping anyhow, of course, that quality is compromised. Okay. Yeah, you want to wake up. It's as if something is pulling. Yes, thank you so much. I think I mentioned it. I said during rapid eye movements, body is doing a lot of things. That's why the time that dreams also come. You understand? But non-rapid eye movements, that time the body is still, everything is not really, if you have to wake up at that time, the body will not cooperate. That is sleep at non-rapid eye movements. Wake up. When person is waking up at that non-rapid eye movement. Everything, there is timing for everything. If it's after you wake up at non-rapid eye movements, usually, though some people, they could have terrifying dreams that they would, some people could even shout during the sleep and the rest, and they wake up that way. So that is not very common, but it happens. But for people wake up at non-rapid when the body is a bit stiff. So that's the time the wakefulness comes up. So if before that wakefulness fully, person is trying to wake up at that period, that's the way the body will feel. You understand? So I also fail to mention something that some people, part of this sleeping disorder or sleep disorder, in the sleep, they might be talking. Some people will be talking, some people will even be walking about, some people will even go to kitchen at that time. Some people are ready to eat at that time. It's part of sleep disorder. Some people, they will wake up like this and be doing all kinds.
Too much.
Yeah. Your body is wet. It's good for you. And congratulations. Because people with kidney problem, they will tell them to drink just 75 liters of water in a day. That is not up to a bottled water. So that means your kidneys are working well. So it's good to take enough water. It is good to take enough water. So that body will flush so many things. Good and clean water is good. Especially, some period, dry season, or during harsh weather, body is losing a lot of fluid. So that period you have to, I'm sure you won't be as thirsty as when the weather is, maybe it is raining or cold. That time you won't really take too much or much. Yeah. So sometimes it depends on the weather condition, but it's good to drink a lot of water. And the ability of the body to process it, that means the body is good. But it's good to drink plenty of water. Yeah. Thank you. I think we have come to the end of the